And Paul Heyman informs the Usos and the audience that at Night of Champions, Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens will be defending the tag team championships against Solo Sikoa and Roman Reigns himself. So there you have it, Roman and Solo challenging for the tag team titles. So much to unpack about this decision. Wow, I think this is great, and I'm going to tell you why. First of all, elephant in the room, Sami Zayn is now going to be working a Saudi Arabia show. Now, a lot of fans wondered why. A lot of fans jumped to a lot of conclusions. I could not believe how many people were saying, this is bullshit, this is dangerous, this is unfair. I'm like, do you know the situation? I don't think they would put him in a dangerous or unfair situation. I just don't. And Saudi Arabia and Syria have resumed work of their diplomatic missions in both countries, according to their state media. And there were previously tensions between the two countries, as we know, and Saudi Arabia with them cutting ties with Syria 10 years ago or whatever it was, due to Syria's handling of their civil war. So Sami Zayn now, if he feels for whatever political reasons with his dissent, with his country or whatever, that he can go back there, that's his business and not ours. And now that they've resumed their missions, that this makes it okay for Sami to be here, great. I think that's great because I feel bad that Sami's missed out on these Saudi paydays. Trust me, I hate that these Saudi shows even happen to begin with, but we can't avoid them. The deal is signed. WWE's getting a shit ton of money from them. They damn near sold to them. So either way, we're going to have to deal with the Saudis. And I don't like these shows, but they're still here. I can't wish them away. So, if it's a way for, talent to get paid, then good for them. But I'm also glad that we don't have to worry about now Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn dropping these tag team titles, because that was the talk immediately after WrestleMania. What are they going to do at Night of Champions? And I said, they don't have to defend the belts. Roman's not defending his. Not every single championship needs to be defended. So it would be fine if they just missed the show. No big deal. But they're going to be at the show and going to be involved in a pretty big match against Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. So that takes care of the Sami Zayn stuff. What about Roman Reigns? He's WWE Undisputed Universal Champion. The biggest complaint and the biggest WTF that I was seeing last night on social media is, what? Roman Reigns isn't defending the title? What the hell? What are they doing? Vince McMahon is back. It's pretty obvious why Roman's not defending the title. Do you remember before Backlash, I was pitching this ridiculous idea, stupidly ridiculous idea of Omos beating Seth Rollins. And when he beats him, that will then maybe earn him a championship match against Roman Reigns at Night of Champions, because he's a free agent. He can be on either show, Omos. And I was like, he would be a perfect guy to face Roman, because whatever Roman does at Night of Champions needs to be in the undercard. The World Heavyweight Championship, this new belt that they're trying to not make a consolation belt, because that's the big narrative right now. It's a consolation belt. In order, if it's going to be a consolation belt, then it would be defended on the undercard and Roman would be in the main event defending his titles. So you don't want that for the title's first night when you're crowning your new champion. The World Heavyweight Championship needs to be the focal point of the pay-per-view. It needs to be your main event. I guess it's still up in the air if that match actually goes on last, but I think it will, and it should. But at the very least, it needs to be the only championship match, world championship match you have on that show, because it's the first night of the title. The title needs to be spotlighted. The title needs to be highlighted without other world championships on that show taking attention away from it, like being defended in another match. But Roman Reigns is that champion. You still want Roman Reigns on the Saudi show. You still have to give Roman to the Saudi audience. You have to. So it's either have Roman defend his championship in the undercard against maybe a weaker opponent or somebody that we know he would beat anyway, which is why I pitched Omos. It's the very reason why. But Roman Reigns' character, I'm certain, in promos has said that he is the fucking main event. And if he's defending that championship, it's the goddamn main event. That's it, period. So you're at a crossroads here. What do you do? Roman still has to be on the show, but for once, you actually need the other belt to be in the main event because it's the first night and you need to put it over properly. So the compromise here is, with the internal bloodline storyline going on, just put Roman in a different match. He's going to go after the tag team titles here. Now the world heavyweight title, or Roman's title, the WWE title isn't even being defended. Therefore, the world heavyweight title can be your number one championship defended on that show with nothing else overshadowing it or taking attention away from it. Yes, a lot of eyeballs are going to be on that tag team title match, but I really, at the end of the day, don't think that this match is designed to give Roman another belt. I think it's designed to give Roman something else to do while they crown their new world heavyweight champion on a show that he has to be booked for. That's why they're doing this. So it's not weird. It's not head scratching. It's not, oh, they've lost their minds. It makes perfect fucking sense why they're doing this. So I don't even think that Roman really has a chance of winning the tag team titles. I think the Usos are going to fuck him, intentionally or unintentionally. I still don't know when the climax hits, when the Usos are officially, or at least Jay or one of them, are officially booted out or officially attacked. I don't know if that comes after Money in the Bank or near SummerSlam, but SummerSlam's still a ways off. I don't know if you got that much mileage left with all of the abuse, the way Roman was acting last night on SmackDown, all of that stuff. How can you have the Usos licking this guy's taint for 3 more months? It's got to come to a head, man. So I think at Night of Champions, maybe the Usos screw him, or since Roman dedicated the match to the Samoans, to the Wild Samoans, maybe the Usos feel an obligation to help out if they can. And then by doing that, they screw up and they cost Roman and Solo the win. Because one thing that's got to happen here for sure is Solo Sikoa has to take this pin. Roman Reigns' first pin cannot be here in a tag team match. Unless they wanted to have Sami Zayn do it and pin Roman, but then I think you take that away, and that's got to be saved for when he loses the title. In terms of Roman and what he's doing at Night of Champions, zero issue with it whatsoever. Zero, none. Totally fine with it. I think it makes a lot of sense. I'm glad that they're not focused on and focusing or highlighting the WWE title on the show and having it defended. I'm glad it's all going to be about the World Heavyweight Championship. That's what you're supposed to do. If you don't want this belt to be a consolation belt, you need to highlight it and focus on it and make it the focal point of a pay-per-view. And, you're in a weird position there when you're trying to do that on the same show that you're probably contractually obligated to have Roman Reigns on, because Saudi Arabia wants him. So this is how they chose to manage the situation. And I thought it was pretty smart. I don't know why the opposite opinion exists out there. Doesn't make no sense to me.